All right, welcome back. Austin Dumo, good morning and good to have you on the paper review this morning.
Good morning, CHIKE, and thank you for having me.
All right, let's just hit it straight. Let's take this headline from the Punch newspaper this morning. Wike Otom Ikbazu fly out to UK again. UK seem to be the base for deciding the fate of Nigerians when it comes to political issues.
Yes, I think it's a form of jamboree. I don't know why meetings cannot be held in Nigeria, of course, for consultation and what have you. The other time they were in the UK, and now again, we had it on good authority that the three of them have jetted out of the country again for a crucial alignment or meeting. And we were also made to understand that the governor of Oyo State, who is still holidaying in London, will also join them in that meeting. I don't know the type of meeting that will make them to waste taxpayers' money to go out of the country every now and then for a meeting. If it affects Nigeria and it's about Nigerian politics and it's about 2023, I see no reason personally that meetings cannot be held in Nigeria. I think some people have decided to take the larger people for granted because this is a form of jamboree and a waste of taxpayers' money. Because if you look at it critically, what is it? We already know the position of Yeson Wike. He's most likely going to work against his party. And if you want to work against your party, why not consult in Nigeria? And this is not the first time. Wike will not also be the first person that will be doing that. Neither will it be the last person. If it is by divine ordination that PDP, for example, will win the 2023 election, Wike's antis may not be able to stop them. I'm not trying to say that it's not powerful, but today in the news, tomorrow in the news, every now and then, if care is not taken, it will lose its own popularity among the people. So for me, I think it's really uncalled for these individuals to travel out of the country to discuss issues that border on Nigeria. From another source, we also got information that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu most likely would join in that particular meeting, maybe to finalize their arrangement or what have you. If it's about 2023, like I said earlier, meetings can be held in Lagos. It can even be held in Port Harcourt. It can be held in Abuja. Nigeria is quite big for all of these meetings to take place, rather than every time getting out of the country, all in the name of political consultation and what have you. The other time, Wike came back to Nigeria and told us that it's about Nigeria. It is not about individual. If it's about Nigeria, it can also be discussed in Nigeria. So that
Austin,
is what we are talking about.
I'm really not concerned about wherever they hold their meetings. But the question here is, why would some group of people sit somewhere to decide the fate of about 200 million Nigerians?
Yes, it has always been. It may not be of great concern to you, but to so many Nigerians, the place of meeting is also a factor. Why decide? It's just like trying to shave somebody's head in his accent. So it is uncalled for. That is on one hand. Then on the issue of few people that are referred to as cabal deciding the fate of the larger percentage of the people, this is not the first time this will be happening. You see the like of Olusegun Obasanjo after the London consultation had to visit IBB and Abdul Salam. That is how it has always been. Let us now see whether Nigerian voters will have to institute a paradigm shift in the 2023 general election. Because if you look at it, Nigerians can decide to say no. Let us take our destiny in our own hands. I decry this particular move too, where some group of people will just come together and say this is what is good for this country at this particular point in time, and they impose their will, they superimpose their will on the Nigerian people. It is not good enough. So let's see. It lies majorly with Nigerians. thank God technology has been substantially deployed into the electoral process. Let's see whether Nigerians will say no. This time around, Wike will not choose for me. This time around, so and so person will not choose for me. I can choose by myself. I know what is good for me. I hope Nigerians will rise up to this particular occasion, because we are sick and tired of people sitting somewhere. They will still be the one. Look at former President Olusegun Obasanjo, for example. They have never been president in Nigeria after him, that he will not have a kind of input in how such person become president. They will be the one to say, this person is good for you. Let him be the president of the country. After some time, they will come back again and say, no, this person is no longer good. He cannot lead you again. We have another candidate somewhere. So it is not about the country. It is not about development. It is not about infrastructure. It is not about good governance. It is about selfish parochial political interests. That is what is playing now. But like I said earlier, let's see whether Nigerians, voters, will decide this time around and say the direction in which these selfish politicians are going this time around. We are not going to follow them. We can decide on our own who governs us and who we find capacity in. So let's see how it goes between now and 2023.
All right, Governor Nyesom Wike is still insisting on Ayu's removal over the alleged roles he played in the emergence of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar as the PDP presidential flag bearer. However, Ayu is saying that the APC is planting fake stories against himself and Wike, and he says he's crying out and says the stories are fake and they are being planted against him and his party on social media, alleged by the APC. In a statement by his spokesman, Simeon Imobo Swam, on Friday, he cited stories in which he purportedly described Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State as a man who cannot father children. That was so grave. Well, however, Iyorchia Ayu, the national chairman of the PDP, is saying that the APC is planting fake stories against himself over Wike. However, the governor is still insisting that he steps down as the national chairman of the party.
Yes, the governor's camp is making it a prerequisite for peace talk to begin. As it is in the PDP, in the camp of Wike and Atiku, they have not even begun the process of mending fences. What they are looking at is, this condition must be met before we even sit down at all. So, from all indication, Ayu is most likely not going to go because, one, politically that would be too risky for the PDP. He supervised the primary. He should go ahead to also coordinate the campaign. So he may not be able to go at this particular point in time. And Wike is saying that if he cannot go, we cannot work with you. See, let Wike come up with his position. Cross-carpeting for Wike and his camp at this time is also politically risky and dicey. So let them come up so quickly. There's this adage in Yoruba that, if you use 20 years to rehearse madness, when are you going to enter the market? I said it on this platform yesterday that people are beginning to lose interest in Wike existence, always in the news, almost on a daily basis. If care is not taken, he might, at the end of the day, be the biggest loser. So I'm not saying he should not fight, but he should fight with decency. He should fight with decorum. He should fight with common sense so as to be able to retain his relevance politically. On the issue of Ayu, he's saying that, oppositions are planting story against him and Wike in the dailies or in the social media. Well, I can't prove that, but Ayu has also made statements that cannot be traceable to the opposition. In the statement where he referred to Wike and others as children when they formed the PDP, that where were they? Of course, he said it with his mouth. We saw him. We heard him. It was not the opposition that sponsored that against him. On the news of whether Wike can father a child or not, these are personal. They are personal issue. And I do not think personal issues should come to the fore. This is politics. It should be issue-based. Bring out your superior argument. If you think you have a case argue your case. Like I said earlier, PDP can still win election without Wike if that is the way God wants it. PDP can also lose election if the issue of Wike is not properly managed, if that is the way God wants it. But Nigeria need to move forward. Apart from PDP, apart from Wike, this country need to move forward. As for whether fake story, we have never seen anything. We have not seen anything yet. There's going to be a lot of fake story as we move toward the 2023 election gradually. You, as being a politician, you should prepare for this. Whether I actually make that statement or not, it's a matter of time. Definitely, opposition want to come in to capitalize on the crisis within the party, to further destabilize the party, so as to have it as a political capital to itself. So whether or not they have said that or they are instigating crisis, the bottom line is that there's a crisis within the party. There's a crack in the wall, which I feel these leaders must come together to mend. And you too must look at his position very critically, because this is not the time to make more enemies. You are going to an election that you consider as a must win for you. You have to manage the interests of the people very well, because there are some people, they may not be able to add value to you, but they can remove value from you.
Let's go straight to this headline here. Federal government raises ministers, permanent secretaries, others toll allowances, and it's saying the federal government has increased the duty toll allowances of ministers, permanent secretaries, and other civil servants in the federal public service with effect from September 1st, 2022. This was disclosed in a circular from the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission with reference. The number is there, dated 31st August 2022, entitled Review of Duty Toll Allowance in the Federal Public Service. I want to see if we can go into details of the figures. It says the duty to allowance increase is coming at the time economists and financial experts are raising concerns about Nigeria's huge debt profile, which, according to the Debt Management Office, stood at 41.6 trillion naira as at March 2022. And permanent secretaries. Duty to allowances applicable to permanent secretaries equivalent from 20,000 naira to 70,000 naira, and to ministers, secretaries of the Government of Federation and HCSF, equivalent from 35,000 to 80,000. Well, Austin, the figures are here. However, one would want to ask, are these figures real? Duty to allowances, and these are per day, allowances per day. What economists and financial experts have said, why is it coming at this time that the debt profile in the country is so high? As at March 2022, Nigeria's debt stands at 41.6 trillion naira, and now duty toll fees the allowances are being increased for some government officials. Don't you think we should start getting more worried? If we were worried in the past, we should get more worried now.
Yes, we have always been worried. One thing at the center of all of this is that the government does not really care whether you worry or not. So the government has decided to accommodate the issue of inflationary trends also in duty toll allowances for top officers within the government cycle. See, the implication of this is that I think about 2 days ago or so, we talked about why wages, why fiscal discipline may not be possible in the government. That is why it will be relatively difficult to cut the cost of governance. Our debt stood at 41.09 trillion as at March this year. CHIKE, take this for free. Between March and the end of August, I can bet it with you, the federal government will have borrowed within the region of 2 trillion. So 41 trillion naira is not our actual debt as at today. That was as at March 31st, 2022. So the government keep borrowing. If you typify it, almost on a daily basis to service consumption. And this government is saying that there is no money to meet ASUU demand. You know, it's quite unfortunate that all of this are happening. So how do we now cut the cost of governance? One of the major reasons why our debts keep piling up is because of huge debt servicing, huge revenue gap, and huge debt servicing. Then how do we solve the problem when the government is not even relenting in the pilation of debt? Not as if our revenue has increased. If you look at the implication of a duty toll allowance of just 10,000 naira per day, and the fraud government officials and those on the payroll of government perpetrate through this duty toll allowance, you will know that we are in trouble. So suffice to say basically that the Buhari administration has destroyed the economy of this country. Because if we continue to pile up debts without commensurate level of developments along that line, rather than thinking in the direction of reducing cost of governance, showing up our revenue, because if revenue goes up, the rate of borrowing will come down. It is not a rocket science. It is simple mathematics. It is simple economics. So for me and for a lot of Nigerians, these governments want to trade away the future of this country. That is the way it looks like. We are not even saying that you cannot borrow, but borrow for what? Borrow to service consumption, borrow to fuel the opulence and reckless lifestyle of those in government. I mean, this is outrageous. In the midst of hostile economic environment, where Nigerians can barely feed, go to the INT'L, go to the street of this country, you will see poverty staring you in your face. Then who takes care of the common man? How does the common man survive in this type of environment? That is why Nigerians must shine their eyes in the build-up to the 2023 general election. So for me, in short, this increment in duty toll allowance coincided with a day that the Director General of the Debt Management Office was defending our reckless borrowing at the National Assembly. So what is in it for the common man? There is nothing. So the economy has been destroyed. That is what it means. It only pays in Nigeria today to be a government worker or to be close to those in governments getting free funds. It is not sustainable. Our financial lifestyle as a government is not sustainable. That's the basic.
All right.
Yes.
On Facebook, Tolulokpe Adeyemi says, I don't think the main opposition party, PDP, are handling this issue of Wike in the right way because Wike stood by their party when the party was in crisis. And since it's even in their constitution that both party chairmen and that of the party flag bearer must not come from the same zone, so it is expected that the chairman resigns from his position so that peace can reign, as this is already affecting them to put this current government on their toes because this APC-led administration has failed Nigerians. Thank you. That's coming from Tolulokpe Adeyemi. So we'll go on this break, and when we come back, more discussions, more headlines. Stay tuned, don't go away.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9. Hello Báyọ̀, ojú ọ̀nà márosẹ̀ yẹn ni mo wà báyìí. Níbẹ̀ lọkọ̀ mi dẹnu kọlẹ̀ sí. Kódà mi ò ní.
Dákun lówó pé tó láti tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú pé yìí.
Rárá o, kò jẹ́jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Kí nìdí?
Ìpè yìí ṣe pàtàkì gan ni.
Ó bá ti rìsáàjì ńgbà náà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò sí níbi tí mo ti lè rìsáàjì báyìí.
Ó ṣe kúkú yáwó pè lẹ́ǹkan.
Yáwó ìpè kẹ̀ báwo?
Pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit, o lè yáwó pè kó o sì san padà lẹ́yìn náà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló rọrùn. Ìwọ sá ti pè *321# kó o sì jẹ́ láṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Lóòótọ́, ó ti lọ wà jù.
Glow ń dúró ti ni nígbà tó jà jùlọ.
Báyọ̀, bí mo ṣe ń sọ lọ, ọkọ̀ mi dẹnu kọlẹ̀ níbi.
Sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí, sanwó lẹ́yìn náà pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit.
Glow Unlimited.
ẹ̀kọ́ tó yè koro ní ìpìlẹ̀ ọjọ́ ọ̀la rere Dominion Aviation College àǹfààní aláìlẹ́gbẹ̀rẹ̀ fún gbogbo ènìyàn tó fẹ́ nímọ̀ kíkún lórí àwọn ètò ẹ̀kọ́ bíi air ticketing and reservation/GDS training, tourism, transport and travel management, software development and application development courses. Dominion Aviation College is the place to be. Láàrin oṣù mẹ́fà péré ní àwọn ètò ẹ̀kọ́ wọ̀nyí. Admission requirements are awaiting result WAEC, GCE, NECO, ND, NCE, HND or BSc láti fi orúkọ sílẹ̀ fún àwọn ètò ẹ̀kọ́ bíi air ticketing and reservation/GDS training, tourism, transport and travel management. Ẹ kàn sí ilé-ìwé Dominion Aviation College tó wà ní number 37 Oyinlola Street off Bolumole Ring Road, Challenge, Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn 0814-730-6896 or WhatsApp 0813-148-2943. Visit www.dominionaviationcollege.com. Email dominionaviationcollege22@gmail.com.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, welcome back. It's still Breaker Dawn newspaper review on 32 FM 94.9, the station where Joy resides. Austin Idumo is online making some sense out of some of these headlines, and I can see you guys on Facebook dropping your comments there. You can head to our Facebook page. It's at 32FM 32FM 949 Ibadan, 32FM 949 Ibadan. That's where you can watch us live and drop your comments on any of the stories that resonates with you this morning. Omo Bashorun Abiola says, honestly, meeting in London or anywhere in the world doesn't concern the masses. Voting is a matter of choice that anybody can't force anyone. What the masses are saying is let Tinubu, Atiku and Obi come out and tell us how can they tackle the problem of insecurity, corruption and the issue of ASU. They should, is saying they should come out and show us their roadmap to govern the country. I still remain the voice of the masses, and that's wishing everyone a great weekend. That's Omo Bashorun there. More comments here from Boluwatife Ademi Junwa. Terrorism in Nigeria under APC-led government has come to stay. It has always been one case of insecurity or the other, but I pray the whole scandal stops or better still reduced to the minimal level by the end of the tenure. Imagine the number of schools being shut down over the threats of terrorism, and yet there is no development in sight to curb insecurity. What a shame on the commander-in-chief. Oh, that is from Boluwatife Ademi Junwa. All right, Austin, let's take a look at this headline here. Interesting one. The federal government is unveiling an action plan to end statelessness. And the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, while speaking on Friday in Abuja, said statelessness violates the non-discriminatory provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. According to him, statelessness is a situation in which a person is not recognized as a national of any state under the operation of its law. And he said there was the urgent need to end statelessness, as a stateless person constitutes a security threat to the country. I guess the federal government is waking up now, trying to end statelessness. And you can imagine a specific region in the country where you have so many people coming into the country and they are not indigenous of any state.
Like you said, this should have come much
Mm. 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 All right. All right, Austin, we'll open the phone lines now 0705 500949 and 0809 7949. Let's get to hear the thoughts of our dear listener at home. Balkisa Nadira on Facebook says, although Wike has worked hard for the PDP and has remained a member of the organization long after other members departed, his recent outbursts are disrespectful. I hope he doesn't lose his political relevance with these pointless unceasing outbursts, since it's clear he won't work for the same party he claims to have invested so much in. In my case, the PDP must organize because a potent opposition party will be required by 2023. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Michelle from the line.
You have 30 seconds.
About Wiki and PDP further. If truly they want to take power from the center in 2023, and the election is less than 6 months now, they need to allow the peace to reign among themselves. Because the major problem we have in this country is that we don't have a vibrant opposition party who able to criticize constructively the way the APC played the role in 2015. Although they deceive us with anti propaganda, That's one Ivanari per 1 year or 5,000 to some youth. But at the end of the day, just empty promises. But they need to come together because it divided us to stand if they want to take power from EPC in 2023.
All right.
So that's my own take. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from? All right.
Thank you. See, what goes around comes around. I remember that in 2015 or 2014 PDP convention, Atiku walked away from that convention with the 7 governors. It was a regional conspiracy or northern leaders of PDP, except Amiti from South, that is just that group to work against Jonathan. The same thing is playing against Atiku now. It's a regional conspiracy. The governor from the southern part of the country. Unfortunately, or let me say honestly, I know what is happening within the PDP. The Jamboree movement of Wike, Autumn, and Vicky Bazu, as a good extent, I want to ask, at the expense of the downtrodden masses, it is about selfish interest and not for the interest of the masses. If they don't know where to go, they can come to Premier Hotel here and hold their meeting. Let me tell you, in fairness to Wike, in fairness to him, knowing the diversity of the nation, and for fairness, equity, and justice, I used to step down in line with PDP Constitution Section 7 of Section 36, which is stipulating rotation of party offices and elective offices, and should stop making statements capable of taking the system within the PDP. It is important that you and Atiku should be looking at the issue from a solution perspective, because I know that no good general who opens the frontiers of war without seeking ways to bring a lasting solution to it. I recall in 2015, PDP members from Southwest voted against Jonathan on regional ground. If I used to be making that statement, especially calling the governor here, the same thing will play out. I am John Njoku. Thank you.
All right, John Njoku, a long one there. Omotayo Oluwarotimi on Bamiro on Facebook says, good morning to you. I took a stroll through the University of Ibadan yesterday. I think as a matter of magnanimity, our government should consider paying the lecturers the 6-month salary. Our lecturers are suffering very much. Honorable Akin Kumi Camille Dekorola says Wike and the Pekin in the PDP are doing more damage to the party. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Yeah, good morning.
We have been complaining about this problem of insecurity in this country. But it's true that the government is not ready to do anything about it. Because the government has what it takes to get rid of these people in this short period of time. For how long we are going to be complaining about this? We can't have a job. What you need to get the source of this problem. I think it doesn't be difficult for this government to get rid of this problem within a short period of time. Very annoying.
All right, you're so angry this morning, but Kolawole Kazim on Facebook says, I think those that are criticizing Buhari borrowing are only playing politics. The government is borrowing to do capital projects across the country. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Lagos-Ibadan Rail Line, or OGBOGU Expressway, Jebai-Lorry Express Road, and on. They are all there for those who have eyes to see. Okay, justifying the borrowings. And that's his thoughts there. Omotayo Onobamiro says, if our legislators can earn so much, maybe the government should be very magnanimous to the lecturers by paying them their salaries. 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949. Those are the numbers to call to join this discussion. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You're live on radio.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Oh, this is Tayo. I'm calling from Odone.
All right, let's have your thoughts.
My advice to Wiki that you should stop. You have tried a lot for people. Yes, but you know, Nigerian politicians, the way they play their politics, at times you begin to wonder, is it normal? But I would advise Wiki, to stop further and let things go the normal way. He has tried, and may God continue to bless him. And as to Tinubu, I would advise Tinubu to withdraw from the race. Because Buhari is not happy with this morning. Buhari is working for Atiku. Get it clear this morning. I want to just get this thing clear. Buhari is working for Atiku. See what he told the governors of APC governor on Tuesday. He told them that they should go and work for themselves. That it will not be part of any electoral something as far as they are concerned. And this is the same man that won an election that was so much turbulent in 2019. Now, let Tinubu shine his eyes well. Have a nice day. CHIKE.
All right, your thoughts there, but you can't be too sure with your assertions there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, CHIKE.
Good morning,
Balkis. Yeah. If I will ask you this question, where is Fayoshe today? I could remember vividly that the same thing, or almost the same thing Wiki is doing right now. Fayoshe did something like that some years ago. But right now, Fayoshe may still have its political relevance, but not as formidable as back then. Wiki has invested so much for the party, for the PDP. Everybody knows that, and he has tried. However, his tantrums are becoming unnecessary. When you watch some of his videos, he throws stops, he abuses, and of course his live band are also in support of that. So if he does not want to lose the little political relevance, if he wouldn't work for this party, perhaps he could defect to another political party or just remain silent. Because with the way things are going, look at his recent statement that, and he will help you to lose. No, that statement shouldn't have come from him. If you believe you love this party and you have invested so much for it, that statement was totally uncalled for. Whichever way, I think the PDP should try to put their house in order, because right now it's like they are giving the ruling party an edge over them. In 2023, we will need strong other forces against the ruling party. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Balkis on Nadir on there. Austin, quickly before we call it a day, let me pick this call, this last call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
This is John Laraju from Ogbogu.
So kindly make it very brief because we have to leave.
The issue of Wiki and his gang, the PDP, to me, I'm even enjoying the game because masses are suffering and there is nothing concern them about them. Why should I pity them or advise anybody to share this, to stop fighting or whatever? Let them continue the game. Let them continue divided. So because their division, the way they divided, we even pay the citizens. Because if they did not divide it, we will not be able to see the truth and will not be able to see the way. And if you're advising Wiki, if anybody advising Wiki to be loyal or to be cooperate with the party, I think we should advise the other party as well.
Yeah.
Because if you can be faithful now, before you are getting the power.
John, I have to let you go.
Power, what are you going to do?
Thank
you. You have already relegated the man when you are yet to get the power.
Yes. Okay, John, I have to let you go. Raja Fiz on Facebook says, if Nigeria have to end statelessness, that means Nigeria's security have to be proactive rather than reactive. All Nigerian borders should be well managed and prevent influx of people from other countries to Nigeria. Austin, your final thoughts before we leave. Unfortunately, time is not our friend. Yeah. Austin, we have to go. We have to leave. Yeah. Thank you, Austin, for featuring on the Break at Dawn newspaper review. Dear listener, do join me by 9 a.m. Dear listener, join me by 9 a.m. on the podium with Barrister Yomi Ogunlola and Professor Remy Ayede. The Break at Dawn newspaper comes your way on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now. I am Chike Obogu.
You're You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Hello, Bayo. Ojú ọ̀nà márosẹ̀ yẹn ni mo wà